couple of comments as well. Jake, good afternoon. Appreciate you jumping on with us.
Good to see you, Brad. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm using that
Yeah.
good hotel lobby Wi-Fi. So if I vanish, that'll be why.
It was a lot that happened today. Not a lot of substance, but some interesting thing nonetheless. I want to start with Commissioner Sankey. He said a lot. I don't know how much he said. There was some word salad, but at the end of the day, the SEC is still a power conference, still, a lot of things to offer. But most importantly, it appears that the SEC championship game is still not in influx, but is not solidified by any stretch going forward. And the most important thing is he talked about how breaking away is not completely off the table.
Yeah, no, I think he said everything that he probably told his buddies and cohorts and pals up in Washington that are probably working on part of the bill that he's for. It's I'm much too dumb when it gets into the weeds and the soup of all this. What they want it to be, strictly feels like they want whatever their standard is. They want everybody else to match that standard, because that was the phrase that he used a few times in his very long, opening comments or speech, whatever, state of the SEC, whatever you want to call it. But referenced it as it's what athletes have told him, I guess, in the SEC that he spoke with. So he kind of put it on athletes that he's talked to, without naming any athletes. So, that's usually how that goes. But no, he's for that. He's against, I think, expanding right now conference and, the playoffs in terms of a 24. I think some of the coaches are disagreeing on some of that too. Eli, I may be getting this wrong. Eli Drinkwitz seemed opposed to going to 24. Well, it feels like that's what Sankey and want. Eli made a good point, honestly. Why are we going to water this down and have a riveting 18 seed versus 24 seed game, as he put it in the playoffs? And so it's he said a ton, but like you said, and I think it was written on for us by Ben, didn't say much at all, but hit the talking points that he was probably said he would hit from the decision makers on high who happened to be watching SEC Network in Washington, D.C., I guess, or elsewhere. It was quite the opening salvo, I guess, if you were, for what ended up kind of being a whimper of a day. It was a very odd grouping. I don't know how they group these coaches all 4 days. I'm sure there's some scheduling making, hey, I need to do today, or I need to do today at the morning session, can't do this day. So I'm sure there's tons of reasons for that, but it was not a very enlightening day. And as you could tell on the SEC Network, when I got back to the hotel room, all they could talk about was Austin Simmons. So that kind of tells you the day that the other three teams had in terms of what people remember. Maybe Will Stein's quote, trying to channel his inner Kurt Signetti. I don't know if it's going to land the way that he was hoping to, but I felt like that was kind of the vibe he was taking. And, he was kind of getting some why or some sell yourself type questions from the crowd, from anybody who watched this morning. He is the new guy taking over a down program. So I guess the obvious comparison was, can you do what Kurt Signetti just did in Indiana? The answer should be yes, because you would think in the SEC and at the school in Kentucky, you're going to have resources, donors, ways to build up an NIL war chest. But, I don't think people in Lexington should be expecting to see them hoisting up a trophy in, Vegas, but, in January. I don't think it's going to happen that fast.
I want to thank all of our sponsors. We'll have full coverage for you. Our specific sponsors for the Talk of Champions in Tampa, the College Corner, Built Different Fitness, and the Chick-fil-A in Oxford. Also want to say a special thank you to Heal Counseling. They'll also be a title and presenting sponsor for all of our coverage from Tampa. As Ben Garrett joins us, Ben, appreciate you jumping on. Jake has just kind of been going through what he heard, what you heard from Commissioner Sankey today. Not a lot of insight, a lot of fluff, but there were a couple of nuggets in there.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't anything learned. I mean, our guy, Greg Sankey, says a whole heck of a lot to say absolutely nothing. So is there a chance, or have there been discussions, real legitimate discussions about the SEC breaking off from the NCAA's enforcement, getting out from under its enforcement umbrella? Yeah, he said there have been legitimate conversations. But other than that, everything else was just, we'd like to see a little bit more of this, a little bit more of that, not committing to anything. Really, the most interesting thing from SEC Media Days for me is the guy back home in the chair. Brad's going to be there tomorrow. Jake's already there. The thing that really jumped out to me was Will Stein stepping up for Kentucky and straight up saying, I know how this is going to sound, but why do I think I can make Kentucky football into, something greater? Me, because me.
Yeah.
So I love that energy. It's like someone said on the message board at the Ole Miss Spirit, omspirit.com, if you live on 3, sign up today for $1. We'd love to have you at the Ole Miss Spirit. That's a QR code that's now right beside Jake's head. $1 for SEC Media Days coverage. I got a write-up for what Greg Sankey said. Jake's got a great write-up because today was Missouri Day too. So Austin Simmons and how that's going. Neither Caden Lee nor Austin Simmons went for Missouri, but still a great story to hear from Drink and what he's got to say. What did you make of that, Jakey? Did you think it was a shot at Lane when Eli Drinkwitz said he's met his match, has Austin Simmons in me, where he didn't have that maybe head game headspace? Or was it a shot at Pete Golding's defense in practice? Like, who was he taking a shot at, if anyone?
I don't think he knew who he was taking a shot at, because watching it in real time, he seemed to freeze without freezing, because it was just I didn't quite get what he was saying, and in the moment when it wasn't something I was going to write about, I wasn't going to add it to his quotes about Austin. He had, because I didn't know what it meant. I wasn't able to sit there and kind of decipher it, and I think some people on the message board who have had time to think about it and look at it, and I posted it in typing form so you can read it. I didn't at the time think he was trying to say I'm smarter than Lane, or but it does make sense. I think you can make it interpret how you want to interpret it, because I think that's how nonsensical and vague it was. So if you want it to be I'm smarter than Lane, it fits. If you want to say I can outsmart the Pete Golding defense, I think it says that too. But I think he was trying to compliment Austin graduating so early, because I believe he has graduated, or was taking classes 24 hours a day at Ole Miss. So I think he was trying to compliment how smart Austin is in a room where nobody really knows that whole story, and then he just kind of froze and moved on with it and gave an actual coach speak quote after that plays and writes better than whatever the heck he was trying to say about Austin and his intelligence, which I think we all know how smart the kid is, book smart wise.
Jake, I want to ask you, I want to go back to the Will Klein quote. I mean, I get the enthusiasm, and to Ben's point, you kind of like the moxie, but what brought that on? I mean, do you know what the question was, or did you were you in the room, and why did he say that?
To be honest, I had these headphones on typing up the Austin story, and so I heard a little bit in between pausing because he was right in front of me. But I can give enough context. He was getting a lot of why you questions. Why are you the guy to go?
I knew there had to be a reason.
He was getting the sell yourself.
You want to watch it together for all the people to know?
Yeah, let's watch it right here.
All right, here's Will Stein, Kentucky head coach at SEC Media Days Day 1. I love this answer.
Came here because you can believe you can win here. Why is that? Kentucky historically has fought against a narrative, against perception. Why do you think you can win big here?
This is going to sound like really, I think because of me, to be honest. I think because of me.
Hell yeah.
I think I know what it takes. I've seen it at the highest levels. I know what it takes to recruit at this level. And you just got to believe, man. You just got to put the ball down and play. There's not really else to be said. Is it going to happen overnight? I don't know. I really don't. If I had a crystal ball, everybody in this room would be really, really rich right now.
And then on and all that kind of stuff. You know what it sounds like? It sounds like Pete Golding. When Pete Golding says spot the ball, it's the same thing. Or like when Pete Golding sits there at the Sugar Bowl press conference, sitting right beside Kirby Smart, getting questions about this, that, and the other. He goes, I don't give it what anybody says. It's the same thing. I love the energy.
Yeah, I think he was getting defensive because before that, it was a lot of the questions I could hear. It was sell yourself to us. Why did Kentucky go get a U? When I think everybody knows why. It's a guy under Dan Lanning who has a good track record at Oregon and has coached some good offensive quarterbacks. Yeah. So I understood the hire and the move. It made sense. It was positive for them. But everybody who covers other schools, let's just say what it was. Those are other non-Kentucky writers saying, why you? I think he just finally got a little, he didn't show it, but I could tell in his answers. He was just getting fine. I'll tell you what I told in my interview, basically. I'm sure is what happened. The problem was he kept taking large drinks of water and just massive air bubbles. So then he sounds like he's scared to death to say it. So it was, I got it. I appreciated it. Cursing Eddie did it in a gym full of, kids and students and alumni saying, we're not going to be a basketball school. Look what just happened in January. So I get that. I understand it. If I'm Kentucky, I'm printing that up tonight to have first thing in the morning when he gets off the plane after being here. But they didn't ask me. So, but that's what I do.
That's Jake, the correct answer right there. The correct in terms of Jake hit the main thing. The main thing is the main thing. All right, this is essentially his first media interview. All right, his first introduction and all that. Go make a statement. Go be remembered. Go be marketable. Go be something that they can sell, because you can only sell the hire for so long. Now it's I love the sanctimonious nature of prove yourself to us in this room. Dude, come on now. I mean, if you read his resume, it's a dang good resume. It really is. I thought it was one of the very best hires of the entire cycle. And I was like, Kentucky did that? So
he gave a good flex. He said, or else I could have just stayed and kept coaching Dante Moore. I mean, he threw a name out on purpose. I did hear that part of an answer. So there was times he was like, fine, or I could have just gone and coached the kid who's on a video game cover, going to contend with some others for Heisman, but I chose to come here and help this school.
Well, let me answer a couple questions real quick from the chat, because I know that y'all haven't had a chance to answer them, and they've been in there. Now I'm finally here. One, that's not the right one. Any rumors at media days about potential realignment? Sankey didn't really say anything about that, and I don't think there's any discussions about that right now. I could be completely wrong.
They got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, for example, are we going to break away from the NCAA? And Sankey goes up there and says, maybe. At Nate Go 43, did you end up getting that PS Plus bid? Not yet, because it made me sick that I got to sign up to play Online Dynasty with y'all. But I promise you, I am signing up. Let's get through media days, and then let's game before fall camp starts. And then as fall camp goes, I'm going to sign up. I've got to cancel something because Disney Plus costs $30, Peacock and HBO Max and this and that and the other. But I'm playing with my guys. We've got a Spirit Dynasty League on College Football 27. We're setting up. If you want to join it, hit up Nate in the chat. Hit up Dakota King in the chat. Dakota's going to be a part of it too. Dakota was talking about a head coach having to sell himself to the media is comical. The school chose the coach or better intelligence than a Florida beat writer has. I absolutely agree with that. And Dakota is in this league, so join us. It's the Ole Miss Spirit Dynasty League in NCAA 27. I will be building my my dynasty with the Delaware Blue Hens, and I'm going to destroy Dakota, and I'm going to destroy Nate, even though I hadn't played yet, and they're going to destroy me. And I hadn't signed up because this PS Plus thing is $10. But join us if you'd like to. But more than that, join us at the Ole Miss Spirit. omspirit.com to Fleet of On 3. We'll have 3 people on the scene for Ole Miss's turn on Wednesday. Jake is already there. My man is already there. I wish he would turn the camera around and let me see what he's looking at. Show me what you're looking at.
Just staring at the sun because I haven't seen it much today. It's been very.
That made it sound way sadder. It's what? Well, it's a work. Oh, okay, in the street. I was thinking maybe you were set up in the. Yeah, you did. What was in the ballroom, or maybe.
I couldn't take any more of the sad lineup today and left before Josh Heupel started talking. It was, as me and Brad said at the top, this was a weird lineup to start the week off with. It
was a weird lineup to start the week off with.
Usually there's a Heupel with a Lane. There's a Eli with somebody else like a Kirby, but it was all 4 of your kind of ho-hum. And who knows? Maybe that's why I think it was more Will Stein got ticked off with the question he was asked and said what he said. But I think that may have been it too.
Let me say something that was a good point, dude. It's what is a Florida beat writer going to say? I mean, there's a reason this guy was hired, and the resume speaks for itself. I appreciate him speaking up. You brought up Josh Heupel. One thing that was kind of interesting is they're about to land DGG, I think, by the way. David Gabriel George. That's about to happen. I think it'll be like a $2 million deal. He's committing in a couple of days. It's not going to be Ole Miss. It's been Ohio State, Tennessee. We've been talking about on Talking Champions for a little while. But they're about to get DGG, I think. And outside of that, though, they don't have a lot of program juice, right? And Josh Heupel's not the best to generate that juice. So he went up there and completely predictably gave a bunch of coach speak. Until he was asked about Lane coming back, in which he said, and I quote, well, I don't want to quote him because I'm paraphrasing. Well, I hope that the grocery stores are stocked up on mustard bottles and that our sports stores are stocked up on golf balls. What did y'all think of that? Because that was whoa.
That was
what a bizarre random stray.
That was him trying to throw a zinger when it doesn't really make sense. I mean, we're so far removed from that now. And, I don't know. If Tennessee fans are still hung up on Lane Kiffin not being there or how he left, that says more about Tennessee fans to me. But it was him, I think, trying to give a zinger that stuck. And I guess, it did for some people. And I don't know. That was just an odd one to me. I think everybody's going to try to make LSU their Super Bowl now, even though I think there's better teams that you could do that with. I don't know Tennessee's on schedule, but yeah, I think that's what he was trying to do, was hype up a game that he thinks everybody's hyping on their schedule, because one certain matchup, Ole Miss LSU, has been hyped up so much that I think people feel like LSU has got to be your big one on the calendar when there's much bigger games, I think, for other schools.
Here's what he said. This is Josh Heupel at SEC Media Days talking about Lane Kiffin's return to Knoxville.
Certainly hope our fan base hasn't cooled off. So, whether it's the grocery stores being fully stocked with mustard, or our sports stores making sure that they got reinforcements on the golf balls. Hopefully, Knoxville's ready for his arrival.
But hey, Brad, crickets as far as getting a laugh though, and that's unfortunate.
It was dark. It was quiet in the room all day. Eli was they were all being stand-up comedians in a room that's not meant to be laughing. That's not the audience. Eli was picking on Pat Forty, trying to get him to chuckle, talking about Missouri and journalism school. Like, it was just a weird day of guys trying to do their best stand-up comedian of choice, and it just wasn't working.
Well, Thursday it won't be weird because the circus is coming to town with LSU and Lane Kiffin. I think Wednesday is going to be fun too with Pico.
Ole Miss.
I'm really interested to see Kalen DeBoer in Alabama, because nobody's talking about Alabama very much. And you go back to that clip, Jake, and kind of what we were talking about. I mean, I guess he was trying to be funny, but he didn't smile or anything. I mean, he looked like he was, if anything, he was irritated. I think, if anything, Josh Heupel's feeling the pressure. I mean, I'm interested to hear Jeff Lebby from Mississippi State to hear what he has to say, because he's on the top of every hot board that I've seen. So there are definitely some storylines, but yeah, today was a bit of a dud.
Yeah, I was saying to myself up in the room before I came down here, I'm shocked that Heupel's made it this long in a place where I can't speak to Tennessee or his fan bases or anything else, because we're not up there and around him all the time. But you would think the football program would have more non-apathy, or whatever the word I'm looking for is, to do better than they have been. But Heupel's still around, and I guess they've done enough. I don't know what his contract is. Maybe there's a money thing. It's cheaper to wait. But, yeah, I think this year is a big year for him. And they are going to land who we assume they'll land, a good recruit. So that'll give them some buzz heading into camp. But that player isn't playing this year. They lost Aguilar. He lost his court hearing 2 or 3 days after, or I guess a week after, but the hearing was a couple of days after Trinidad's. So they took some momentum was lost for them, but yet Heupel's out here cracking jokes about a game that doesn't have the same significance as his statement was trying to make it. So it was just very odd.
Good lineup tomorrow though, Ben.
Yep, Brad, you nailed it. And I think, Jake, I was going to say there, if you look ahead to tomorrow before we let you get out of here, because yeah, you've been there all day. I didn't know y'all were feeling it was this much of a dud. I found some things, but no, this is not the vibe I thought we'd get on SEC Media Days day one. We need some juice. We do know that from now on, like, they need to bring out the big gun first, whoever it is. It's like the first off the bus person. You know what I mean? Like
the player choices were odd too for all these schools today. It was either kids who weren't there or kids who didn't play or didn't play much. John Mateer, I think, was the best one. He was trying, but he was 4 or 5 deep. He's probably the only one that had everybody in the room talking to him when they did the breakouts. But every other player was just ho-hum or had nothing to really ask about. I asked Roberts, the Missouri kid, who's a running back, just about Austin, because they didn't bring Austin Simmons, which I was floored when they didn't bring him. But I don't think there's a quarterback battle, but maybe there is for all I know. But, yeah, it was just a weird day. Just not the first day you would expect, and it was just quiet, like a morgue or a funeral in there after each coach was done talking.
Well, don't let John Mateer, don't ever let a guy like John Mateer get away. Ole Miss plays at Oklahoma again, and got to ask all them dudes about playing Ole Miss, and Jake will provide all of that content at the Ole Miss Spirit, omspirit.com if they want 3. Like tomorrow, for example, you get Kirby, Gunnar Stockton. You got a lot of people to talk to tomorrow, Jakey. Alex Golish, Byron Brown. Heck yeah.
Yeah, no, I was not able
Go to
to
Vandy?
holler my question to Material, but yeah, Gunner, Georgia. I mean, Kirby in the morning. I believe they're in the morning session. That'll be a nice little jump start. That would be the first time we probably see some fans. They were all hyping about fans being here, but I think Tampa's a little far. That lobby was there were no fans, but you get a Georgia team, and then you start getting the programs where fans travel to this thing, and so hopefully it kind of livens up. But yeah, today felt like the last day where everybody's just
Everybody's
done.
getaway day.
Yeah, today felt weird to be the first day, but like I said, I'm sure everybody had their reasons to schedule it the way they scheduled it.
Well, the beauty for you is you'll be gone tomorrow. You'll be able to leave by 2:55 because you're not waiting for Shane Beamer in South Carolina.
Yeah, as much as Clark Lee is quite the talker, I'm saying that as nice as possible.
Yeah.
The poor guy's great on that Netflix documentary, but you put him in a room like tomorrow, he goes school teacher on you.
Well, here's the thing: like the key is just go get in that internet digital room or the radio room rather than sitting in the big room or trying to do the big breakouts. That's how you can actually ask those kind of questions. That'll be like one of the 8 questions that get asked in the other room.
Yeah,
so
somebody asked John Mateer in the digital room with the news station crews what kind of goosebumps he gets waiting to come out behind the wagon. I think that was a question that was asked today. So that was what we were missing in the big room today.
But what I'm saying is you could ask these questions for Talk of Champions in the Ole Miss Spirit, OleMissSpirit.com if you live on 3. Like that's where you could have gone up to John Mateer and been like, hey, yo, John Mateer. First of all, have you seen the memes about your huge arms, which is hilarious? No one asked that. It shows you how much we're just losing our fastball in media days. Number 2, because media days is nothing but a circus. Okay, that's what it is. But then number 2, you go, hey, John Mateer, y'all played Ole Miss, tough game, tough loss last year. Lead into that. Tomorrow you could do that with Kirby, Gunnar Stockton, Raylan Wilson, Drew Bobo. You got to ask Alex Golish about coming. I think today, no, don't ask him about that. Ask him about coming and bringing his team to Ole Miss in October. But this is like, yeah, Brad, But Jake's not laughing because I think he still hadn't got what was said. But
I got it.
Anyway, today that was listed. I can't remember what national person put it out there, but that was listed, the Auburn game, as Ole Miss's biggest trap game. Maybe it came from Greg McElroy, who's there at SEC Media Days. But like that Auburn game and that like them coming there, that's an interesting storyline too. So Jake Thompson will be live on the sea. Jake, got a busy day tomorrow.
Yeah, Jake, real quick. And Ben too, and I'm just because I'm just ate up with it, but I'm generally curious what we're going to hear from Shane Beamer because I think he may have the hottest seat of anybody. Mm-hmm. What does he say to generate? I mean, he's got Lenore Sellers, and I've heard some different people talk about him and his high draft stock, and I get all that. I'm not going to even start talking about Todd McShay and having Trinidad Chambliss 8th or 9th in the conference. But
whoa. That was today?
They put them there for that reaction you just gave. Y'all got to learn. That's what these things are for.
Wait, Todd McShay Trinidad 8th in the SEC?
Talking about draft stock, but to Jake's point, and I haven't said Roman Harper yet, but it's one thing for Roman Harper to say that Ole Miss is not going to win a lot. It's another to laugh and to say, wait a minute, you'll learn soon enough. It's Ole Miss. That's a direct shot, and that was uncalled for. And that's why I did what I did on social media. Anyway, we'll talk about it in a second. But Jake, back to what can Shane Beamer do to fire up his fan base? Because it's a dud right now. Is it Lenore Sellers? Is that what he does?
Actually win. I mean,
yeah.
I think that's, he's got to, at this point, he's got to do that, he's going to say what he always says. I think we've had Shane the same day as Ole Miss for like the past 2 or 3 I've been to. So I've heard the same spiel from him, especially having the same team basically and having Lenore. So I don't know what he can say. Who knows what he'll get asked. Maybe he'll get told to prove it by some, other team's reporters tomorrow. That seemed to be the thing today. But I don't know. If you're Shane, I think that hot seat's hot. But I think people are like, well, if they haven't done it by now, they obviously just are happy with Shane there. And like I said, we're assuming things in rooms we're not in. But, yeah, I think he can't have another – they always start hot, then cool off, and then they've lost too much to where they'll win that big game at the end, Clemson or something, but it doesn't matter at that point. They've lost too much in the middle. And so, I think that's a big day for them. But, Georgia will be the one front and center with Kirby, and they'll be the one everybody's talking about, I'm sure, out of the forward tomorrow.
Chase Daniel been very much pro Ole Miss. Very pro Ole Miss. I've been very impressed with him.
Wasn't that who Roman Harper was finger wagging?
It was,
who
yes.
He was talking to?
Yeah. Stephen A. Smith also pushed back today. Jordan Rogers was very pro Trinidad Chambliss along with Stephen A. Smith. So it's not like Ole Miss is being disrespected. in not being appreciated, it very much was this right here.
You like Trinidad Chambliss, and rightfully so, from Ole Miss, this close to a national championship game appearance last year.
Yeah, I mean, Oval's 4,000 yards passing, over 500 yards rushing, a lot of different touchdowns. What really won me over when I broke him down, I thought he should have come out in the NFL draft because of his college football playoff run. In 3 games, averaged over 300 passing yards and 6 total touchdowns. And plus, you have Kewan Lacey coming back, who's the best running back in the SEC. Yes, I know you're losing 4 of your next 5 pass catchers, but when I watched him versus Georgia, I mean, this play right here is
kind of looks like Chase Daniel.
The fact is, they're going to run fast, and there's another one in that game too. To me, he is the best returning starter in the SEC.
I mean, that's high cotton, and that's really good stuff from Chase Daniel. And
what
I
was
never
up
really
with him got like his deep breath though? Did you hear him? Like, I mean, after everything he said, no.
He's got to learn. He's got to learn. But I like what he's saying.
A little nervous. I think that was his first time out there on the
But no, you're right, Jake. That's what he would say something about the national championship, and that's when Roman Harper did what he did. And I just didn't appreciate it. It wasn't insight that I disagreed with. It wasn't schematics or anything. That was a direct shot at Ole Miss, the University of Mississippi, and I thought it was incredibly disrespectful. Otherwise, I would not have blasted him like I did on social media. It went crazy.
I'm with you on that one. I'm talking about when people make those lists and everybody gets all up in arms and stuff. I agree with you.
You're talking about the Todd McShay list.
Yeah, but when people make those lists, that's for engagement, and you're engaging. And I'm not saying not to, but that's why those lists are out there. I mean, nobody knows a thing right now. It's July the 20th. I mean, Trinidad could go out there and, God forbid, something happened and play awful this year. Or he could go out and play lights out and prove Chase Daniel and Jordan Rogers right. And as a backup to my beloved Saints, Chase Daniel can say no wrong. So I fully agree with Chase Daniel there.
Yeah, by the way,
saying that widespread engagement like that, and engagement bait, you should avoid it. That's general advice. However, if like our podcast isn't going to be the one to push back, who else is? That's all I'm saying. Like, yeah, you can say, well, it doesn't matter. You're giving what they want. Well, they're giving me what I want too. To say, Todd McShay, man, do you really believe that? Because I thought you were you were one of the 2 remaining draft evaluator scouts. Dane Brugler's the other one that I actually no ball still to me. You know what I mean? And if you really believe that, or if you're just engagement farming, cool, because 8th is too low. Now, is he 1st, 2nd, or 3rd?
They had Lenore Sellers number 2.
As far as an NFL draft prospect, I'm not saying I agree with it, but I understand where he's coming from. The measurables for Trinidad as far as being an NFL draft quarterback prospect aren't great. That's why there is a legitimate argument made one by Chase Daniel today that Trinidad probably should have struck while the iron was hot. Not saying he's Cardell Jones who struck while the iron was hot in the playoffs, but that 3-game run in the playoffs for Trinidad Chambliss was insane.
And that's why, under oath in Pittsburgh, Joe Judge said that's why he thinks Trinidad should have another year in terms of the measurables. He needs to do it for a whole season. Now, of course, he almost did an whole season. Kentucky was game 2, 3 of last season, but I think they wanted to see do it twice, show us consistency, and that's why Joe Judge under oath said that's why he should come back. But I agree with the strike while the iron's hot at the same time. I mean, both sides of the coin make sense to me.
So I'm the same way. And for me, Brad's absolutely right about the Roman Harper stuff, but also not to be in any way contrarian. What do you expect from Roman Harper, former Alabama safety? That's the cost of doing business when all of your analysis comes from former players. All right.
And I think he was also picking on the new guy, and the new guy happened to be talking about Ole Miss. I think everything we all just said was thrown into the mix, and that's what came out.
So it's not disrespect. I agree with Brad. It's obviously disrespectful, but that's part of it for me. I didn't really take offense. I would be surprised if Roman Harper didn't. My real issue with the Todd McShay thing is dude, don't be one of those that falls into the trap. He's a ball knower. He's legitimately good at scouting and evaluating NFL draft prospects, and Trinidad has legitimate questions about him. Specifically, he's not tall. He's 6 foot at very best. He's stocky and all get out. He's got a big arm, but he can be inaccurate. They could break down some things to knock him down below, especially more projectable quarterbacks, like even potentially Lenore Sellers, because Lenore Sellers is size and like they were going into last year billing Lenore Sellers as potentially breaking out like Cam Newton. Go back and watch this kind of crap last summer. Oh, Lenore Sellers, man, you know who it reminds me of? Cam Newton. And now, and so from a projectability standpoint, this is a dude in Lenore who still has got some upside while Trinidad kind of is what he is. You know, I mean, he's a fifth-year, 24-year-old quarterback at 6 foot. I get that.
He's going to have to do what Jackson did when he told us when he talked to him at the Gator Bowl. He said, "I'll win him in the interview portion." That was his confidence because Jackson knew what was being said about him as a player, X's and O's wise, scouting wise, and we had 3 years of film on him then. So I think Trinidad can have a great season and move up that list and move up those rankings. But I think also he's going to have to win the hearts and minds off the field in those rooms at the combine, like Jackson did. And I think he can. I mean, the kid's a great talker. I saw him talking circles around these local reporters and Thibodeau right next to me trying to get him to say something, and he never said what they wanted him to say. And so he knows how to talk. He knows how to handle it. So I think he's got the right head on, but now we've got to see him put it on the field. And obviously we all think he can, and people believe he can. But to the Roman Harpers of the world, to the Todd McShays, either they're saying it to be the contrarian at a table, or they still don't think it. I think all this is going to change a lot of people's minds about a lot of different things this season. But like I said, maybe I'm biased because of where we are and where we work. But I think Trinidad will get a chance and get drafted. Now, is he going to go first round, second round? Probably not. He's probably a third, fourth round. That's me, and uneducated scouter that I am. But no, I think he'll get better than some of them are saying.
Yes, I agree with that. And for at Journey Over Destination 365 asking, why don't y'all show what Roman said? This is from Brad Logan.
And the Ole Miss fan base, the expectations now are sky high, especially the 18 seconds away. They're not winning the Natty. They're Ole Miss. No, they're not. Hey, more or less, wow. 10 wins. They're not. They're Ole Miss. You'll learn. Come on around.
Yeah, and real quick, and I'm going to put a bow on this, but that's what I had an issue with. Had Roman said, man, that they have no history of winning a national championship. They've never been to Atlanta. I mean, it's just Ole Miss is probably not going to win the national championship. I don't think anybody could argue that. Someone posted, the chat's going crazy, that somebody posted earlier, there's proof of concept. You're right, there is. But the way he did it and the way that he laughed, I just say, I didn't like it at all. I didn't like it at all.
And it's okay for Brad to be disrespected by that. I would just simply say, I don't care. Roman Harper, of course, is going to say that. 3 out of the 5 analysts there, and the others, Paul Feinbaum from Birmingham, are former players. One is Tim Tebow, who Ole Miss made cry in 2008. Another is Chase Daniel, who's played at Ole Miss, who's just new to this job. He's just trying to talk ball, but you're now a part of the ESPN culture churn. So, of course, the Roman Harper, of course he's going to say that. Like, don't take offense to everything. If Roman Harper would have said instead, I really disrespected, thought Ole Miss was this, and now they're this, you would have written the stories about it and go, oh, Roman Harper's changed his mind about Ole Miss. It's not news. He's feeding the churn. Chase Daniel made the point. Trinidad he's making $5 million this year. But there was a real argument, and it's legitimate still, that he should have left after that playoff. Thank God he didn't, because Ole Miss is going for a national championship again. And, I would much rather all of us have Trinidad for that going into it, from a cover standpoint, contingent point, everybody, fans, coaches, players, administrators. Trinidad being at Ole Miss is the best thing for everybody, but maybe not for Trinidad, the NFL player, potential NFL player. This was a shallow quarterback class.
Yeah, it turned into.
He would have gone second or third round. Now with this upcoming class, he's 4th, 5th, 6th projected. But what Roman said, it's ESPN. We've long moved past the days. But Chase Daniels, man, I hope he hangs on. I hope he hangs on for dear life for as long as he can, trying to talk ball amongst a circus, a content creation circus.
Yeah, I think I don't remember where he came from. I think he was on NFL Network or NFL Live.
You talking about Chase Daniel?
Yeah.
Was he not in the booth last year?
If he was in a booth, but he's coming.
It was
from
like
where,
a lower level type of
Dude, we're getting him on.
Point. He's coming from where he was allowed to just do the X's and O's.
I've already sent him a message.
And then to Ben's point, he was in a show where you could nerd out, talk ball, and not have somebody laugh at you and say, "Silly boy, sit down." You're talking about a school. This is new, and he'll adjust, he'll learn. or he'll say, "Hey guys, this ain't for me." Now I have not watched. Obviously, none of us really have watched SEC Nation because we're all doing something on Saturdays. So maybe that's what this has become. But that was probably the most outlandish thing or way to say it that I have seen on that show. And I don't know if it's media days and they were whatever and they were sitting out in the store. Who knows what it was, but historically, yes, he's not wrong. How he said it was atrocious. I'll put it that way, even for what they want that to be. So yeah, it was often no, Brad. I'm not mad at you for getting mad about that. I'm saying that those lists the Todd McShay's lists and those big boomer 55 lists and all that stuff. That's meant for us to be angry, and that's what they want. So
speaking of lists, Jake Crane has Ole Miss the number 1 offense in the SEC.
I don't disagree with that.
See, but now we're like, that Jake Crane, he's all right.
Well, he's got it figured out, doesn't he?
No, it was South Carolina honorable mention. I was like, dude, if you're going to do a top 10, just do a top 10. Don't put an HR at the bottom of that. You're just asking for what we just talked about. You're asking for that negative engagement. But no, I don't disagree with that. I mean, you beat Georgia. You played Georgia close the first time in the year. And I don't know what other returning offense would be better in the conference. On paper right now, before any game has been played, than Ole Miss's offense. And that's why Pete brought back who he brought back for a lot of different reasons. But now so I agree with that one wholeheartedly.
Jay, we've kept you too long. Thanks for jumping on. Tell us what you're looking forward to tomorrow, real quick, before you go.
Tomorrow, I'm looking forward to seeing if Kirby can say Ole Miss broke us, beat us, destroyed us. I don't think he'll say that, but that would be good for us if he said something like that. But I am interested to talk to Gunnar Stockton, who I was kind of surprised came back. To be honest with you, and the assist also playing Ole Miss twice and what was different in that Sugar Bowl. I'll try to get us some stuff. And sorry,
I love when Jake starts when the creative juices start flowing. We're texting today, a little inside baseball, since a lot of people on message boards are worried about inside stupid this Ole Miss beat stuff lately. So me and Jakey, I'm texting him earlier, and he's like, I'm gonna do something on what Sankey said. Like, dude, no one cares about what Sankey said. I'll do that crap. Y'all made me stay here at home. You're in Tampa. All right, you go ask Gunner about Ole Miss stuff, this stuff. I didn't hear from him the rest of the day. I thought, dang, I guess I first pissed my friend Jake off, and all he did was write an awesome Simmons story.
That was a good story.
And I've already got what I'm going to ask Kirby and Gunner Stockton, and then when we go to Clark Lay, I'm just saying he's great. And
how can people read that story, Ben?
The Ole Miss Spirit, OleMissSpirit.com, and affiliate of On3. The QR code above Brad Logan's spiky hairs for the Ole Miss Spirit, OleMissSpirit.com, and affiliate of On3. Sign up today. New members can join for $1, and from there, join our Ole Miss Spirit Discord group as we start an online dynasty for the Ole Miss Spirit in College Football 27. Bye, Jakey. We love you, buddy. See you tomorrow.
Thanks, Jake. Appreciate it.
Jake, you're the best. Jake Thompson of the Ole Miss Spirit, OleMissSpirit.com, affiliate of On3. You can tell he's kind of worn down from today. I didn't think it was that bad. Y'all made it sound like it was a morgue in there, but Jake seemed pretty beaten down, man.
It was just, there's just there wasn't a lot of circus. We love circus at SEC Media Day, and I don't think the SEC really set us up too good today. But I think tomorrow it's going to crank up, and by Wednesday it's going to be wide open, and Thursday it's going to be an absolute zoo. Because
absolutely,
the way that ESPN's setting it up, the way the comments are already being shot across the bow in regards to Ole Miss, Lane, Trinidad, that's kind of the churn right now. But I'm really, and I said this earlier, and I don't know if anybody else is, but I'm really interested in the things that a lot of people aren't talking about. Auburn and Alex Golish, Shane Beamer, South Carolina. I mean, how's that tenor of the fan base? Mississippi State and Jeff Lebby, we haven't heard a word other than some random video that's circulating from football players at Mississippi State. Other than that, we haven't heard a lot. So I'm really fascinated to see what Jeff Lebby has to say in the MSU players. But obviously, we'll have wall-to-wall coverage for you Wednesday, when Ole Miss, Pete Golding, and the cast of thousands are ready to hear about Ole Miss and SEC Media Day. We want to thank all of our SEC Media Day sponsors, and we appreciate everybody being part of the Talk of Champions, and want to say a thank you to the College Corner, Built Different Fitness, Chick-fil-A, and Ben, we've also want to say a special thank you to the Hill Counseling Group. They were a part of us when we were in Arizona. We'll have more information from all of our sponsors that are bringing all of our content from Tampa at the Talk of Champions very soon, and we want to thank all of our sponsors. We'll hear from them in just a little bit that sponsors every single day here on the Talk of Champions very soon.
Man, we got to change that picture that you use for those daggum graphics.
I have asked you, to be fair to everybody in the chat.
No, it's my fault.
I have asked you 5,000 times, Ben, if you don't like your headshot, just send me the one from the Union County Jail you got a couple of months ago. That's a great headshot, and we'll use that one. But I haven't gotten anything.
I'll get you something. Not head. Let's hear from some of our sponsors. This is Talk of Champions.
Homes and businesses from the whims of nature. You need more than just quality materials. You require Riverland Roofing. Licensed, insured, and certified, Riverland Roofing offers not only the protecting homes and businesses from the whims of nature. You need more than just quality materials. You require Riverland Roofing. Licensed, insured, and certified, Riverland Roofing offers not only the assurance of excellence, but a tailored approach to your unique structural needs and budget. To learn more about what Riverland Roofing can do for you and the community, call them at 662-644-4297 or visit riverlandroofing.com.
Hey, Rebels, your truck is here. Allen Samuels Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Oxford presents the all-new Ram Rebel. It's Ram, the Rebel way. Send an unmistakable signal. Rebel 24/7. Ram Rebel from your friend in the car business. Allen Samuels Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Oxford.
Come by, let's be friends. I'm Warrior Philip Hearn. Raising my family here in Mississippi, I've tried to teach my kids to help others. I learned that from my parents. And as a Mississippi lawyer, I want to help you too. If you're hurt in a traffic accident, 18-wheeler wreck, or have insurance trouble, call 601-720-3541. That's my cell. You call, I'll answer. Let's get started. Make your first call to the Hearn Law Firm today.
Fiber and wireless together at last. The One Plan. Fiber and wireless for $99 a month with a 5-year price guarantee and a free 5G phone for everyone. Fiber and wireless for $99 a month with a 5-year price guarantee. C-Spire. Customer inspired.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate how funny this show has been to me? I've been just breaking down from the terrible things we've said unintentionally over the course of almost an hour here as Brad says, you're muted, as Brad says, a dud of SEC Media Days Day 1. I disagree. We're going to
use the term "we" very loosely today.
So it got me thinking as I'm laughing throughout the entire commercial break. I showed Gracie, my 14-year and soon to be 14-year-old daughter. That's insane.
Yeah, no.
We watched Emily and Riley were gone to church camp for the weekend. And Gracie said, "Dad, I want to watch Ghostbusters." Okay. It's PG. I was going to let her PG-13, man. I was saying, if you want to go see the Odyssey, I don't know. That's probably way too much, but I was like, I was ready to go see the Odyssey in IMAX, or first R-rated movie here. But no, we watched Ghostbusters, which of course I'm like, yes, it's one of the greatest comedies of all time. You know, Peter Venkman's hilarious. And then you started with your 14-year-old daughter and some pretty terrible things, uncomfortable moments in Ghostbusters. It was a different time in the 80s, man. Like, you go watch Weird Science, that was PG-13. There was nudity all up in it. PG, you've got Peter Venkman with Sigourney Weaver as a possessed dog saying, "I want you inside me." And my 14-year-old daughter goes, "Ooh." And I went, "Yep, she's possessed by a dog, honey. You know how dogs are." That's how I handled it. And that's what I'm thinking. You know, we're a different time and a different age, but this is Talk of Champions. We're refusing to call this a dud. If anything, this has just been the parental advisory version of Talk of Champions with being Garrett and Brad Logan.
I tell you, Modern Woodman is where it's at. We need to let everybody know about Modern Woodman real quick.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, buddy. Go ahead.
Our good friend Shed Hunger, I just exchanged messages with Shed today. He has been hard at work helping folks left and right with their planning for their life, using a variety of tools, including life insurance, annuities, mutual funds, variable annuities. I've got a meeting set up with him very soon. We're going to have lunch and talk about ways we can improve my life. He can improve yours today in a number of ways. Call him 662-442-4723 for more information. That's Shed Hunger with Modern Woodman of America. Give him a call today. He can help you. I promise. Tell him you heard about it on Talk of Champions.
Modern Woodman has been a friend of this program since about 2017. We've had Drew Horn. We've had now Shed Hunger. We've Thomas Chandler. Modern Woodman's is because I love these people because of their loyalty and how long they've been with us, and I use them. They are the people I use, and I trust them. So shout out to Shed Hunger and Modern Woodman, that group, man. It's if you got financial stuff you need to work through, like Drew helped me with my entire thing. So Shed Hunger, he's the perfect kind of guy for you. I love how Dakota said, what did this show turn into? Man, when Brad Logan says something about head, it turned into something else. It's not my fault. I didn't derail this, okay? You know what derailed it? You know what really derailed this, Brad Logan? What derailed this was a dud. You're right, a dud of a first day of SEC Media Days. But the sun will rise tomorrow, and the Doomsday trailer for the Avengers dropped today at JJ Vlogs 8963. Ben, did you watch it? I did, and I feel better about it than I had otherwise felt, which is completely nothing. Like, I now feel like, oh, that could be interesting. Mainly because if they do Doom right, then it'll be the perfect, big bad for a franchise. But the underwhelming group of Avengers is the thing that stood out to me the most. I was like, wow, they really did nothing to prop up any of these other heroes for the last 10 years. This is kind of comical. And when Spider-Man's not there, it just feels completely incomplete. I can't wait to watch a Brand New Day, though. So that's that. But all right, I'm done. How was it? SEC Media Days was a dud. This show
it wasn't a dud. I mean, you keep harping on that.
You said it 3 times.
It kind of was, but I mean, there was a little bit there. I mean, there was some substance with Commissioner Sankey talking about the 9-game schedule. It started off hot and then just kind of trickled off after that. And I think a lot of it was because of the teams we got. I mean, the coaches, the personalities, just not your personality that you kind of anticipate that's going to create a lot of buzz. I mean, we heard a very super defensive Will Klein for Kentucky. We heard a not so defensive, more or less, why do I have to be here, Josh Heupel from Tennessee. I thought, I just didn't think there was a lot there. And so I'm excited to crank the day up tomorrow with Kirby Smart. And I'm like, we appreciate Jake jumping on. If you missed Jake, right below us, you'll see this replay when we're finished with the show today. You can rewatch it, and we appreciate that. There's going to be a bell out beside it. Be sure and hit that bell at Talk of Champions. That way, when we go live, you'll be notified. We're on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all of your podcast platforms from an audio standpoint. We appreciate all of you listening there. But, when you go back and listen, like Jake was talking about a little bit with us, it was a room in which you really didn't know what to gauge from these coaches because they were trying to kind of push back and tell some jokes when everybody's there really just wanted to talk ball. And I didn't hear just a ton of that today, but I do think tomorrow it'll be interesting to hear what Kirby has to say if he reflects on last year to win. Ole Miss obviously beat them in the Sugar Bowl. Did he learn from that? And I know Jace, we'll be there to ask all the questions about kind of what happened that led to this and that and the other. So excited to kind of get the Ole Miss angle tomorrow and report back to everybody, which, by the way,
when do you get there?
Do what?
When do you get there?
9 a.m.
9 a.m. So you'll be in the kickoff building at 9 a.m.
Yes. I'll be landing sometime a little before 9. It'll probably be 9:30. So I'm hoping to get there before Kirby speaks. It'll be a very early day.
Man on the scene. And, I'm watching it. That's what I keep looking at on the screen. And Paul Feinbaum's show is lifeless. It just is. And that's also an indictment on the room itself. So you know what you do? You know what you do, folks, when you need to fire a room up to get them pumped for SEC football? You send in Brad Logan.
Well,
on the scene.
I think, first of all,
on the ground.
Having this thing in Tampa, I mean, I understand it was kind of an experiment of that sort of thing.
Don't be a wet blanket on this. I know what you're
I'm
going to say.
I love Tampa. I mean, I've been to 2 SEC basketball tournaments there. Burn Steakhouses in Tampa, and if I'm lucky enough to get to go one night, I'm excited about that. The events are awesome. I've heard. I'm excited to go to Raymond James Stadium for an event, but it's a long way. And normally when you have the fan bases of Alabama, Auburn, the kind of central location, I don't know if they'll ever have it in Hoover again. But having it in Nashville, we didn't talk about it, but it's going to be in Nashville next year. Commissioner Sankey announced that. I think next year is going to be a zoo because the new Titan Stadium will be – will it be finished? I think it'll be finished next year because Ole Miss is playing
the last season.
It's the last season. Yeah.
Nissan Stadium with Louisville on September 6th.
Wouldn't surprise me if they had SEC Media Day in the new stadium or somewhere thereabout. So you've got all that playing into it. It's just a long way to Nashville. A lot of people are having to fly. I know, Next Round Live is a show that I watch a lot. They did not go this year, and they talked a lot about that this morning. Jim Dunaway, who I really like a lot, talked about how far it was. I've talked to a lot of other people that are in the media that elected not to go because of how far it is. It's going to be expensive, but we're grateful for our sponsors for helping us get down there. But I am a little worrisome about that. But at the end of the day, whenever you get inside the facility, nothing else really matters, and you kind of insulated yourself. The same thing when it's in Atlanta, when you're inside the College Football Hall of Fame. So I am truly, genuinely excited to get down there and to talk about Ole Miss football and having the opportunity to see, we haven't talked either that the Heisman campaign was launched. And one thing, Ben, I was told that they're going to make these available to the public. Now, I think, tomorrow they'll be available to the general public from 10 until 12:30 at the northeastern corner of Vaught Hemingway Stadium. I think I'm right on that, Ben. And then they're going to give away as many as they can. But I was told that they're going to be a package made available for these to be sold online. And I don't know if the Grove Collective will be a part of this. I think they might be. I don't know any specifics, but I do feel comfortable in saying that I believe a package is being put together. So these will be made available to sell online. These being yard signs, buttons, stickers, and the Heisman campaigns for Kejuan Lacey, the running back, and Trinidad Chambliss, the quarterback. I've said all along, these Heisman campaigns, true or not, should have been started last year. But they were not because of a lot of stuff going on off the football field. Now, with Pete Golding as head coach, the focus is being put on the players. I think it was brilliant to start the campaign when they did. I absolutely applaud the Ole Miss marketing department because now that's what people can talk about heading into Media Day. There's going to be obviously a talking point because of this Heisman campaign that's launched. So a lot of good things for Ole Miss headed into Tampa in a couple of days.
Let's knock out some questions from the chat before we get out of here. Where will we start? First, from my guy, Eric Jernigan, did y'all talk about that Alabama dude, Roman Harper, that said we don't belong in the title talk ever? Yes. And Brad really thought it was disrespectful. I'm not surprised.
The delivery was not the content in and of itself. I don't have a problem with what he said.
He just kept going, and I get that. He just kept going. At JJ Vlogs 8963, is David Gabriel George going to Tennessee? Yeah, and I think it's going to be for a deal of $2 million. And you're right, man, because $2 million for a freshman is what? Yeah, that's the going rate. That's the going rate. And that's insane about that. And it's not going down anytime soon. Like, he is a generational running back, but still, he is a high school running back entering his senior year, right? Like, that is a luxury position. And he's a generational running back, but what does that mean? $2 million as a senior in high school? Or freshman in college. But let's be real. He's already going to get most of what he needs. He'll always be taken care of. He'll never want again. I don't know. But it ain't stopping anytime soon. All right, what other questions do we have? I hope Brewster flips. Maybe. I don't see that happening. And we had one more. I think it was from Nate, if I can find it. Yeah, I can't find it. Anyway, I'm hoping for tomorrow to be more active. And now that you'll be on the ground, who you like bringing on? Do you already got some set up interviews? I know I interrupted you already. Paul Feinbaum shows is as depressing as the end of this one. Like, he's got two dudes. I've never seen before, an empty ballroom. I'm glad y'all are there, not me. I'm glad now that I'm the guy in the chair, even though I really don't look forward to my Twitter mentions on LSU Day. Anyway, to you. Oh, as he coughs. Could say the same for Sark.
Hit that cough button. Connor O'Gara, you were on his show, and so we're going to visit with Connor about the last couple of days. We'll get with him. Chris Lowe, looking forward to talking with Chris, Cole Kublik, efforting a number of people, J.D. Piquel, Josh Pate, and have talked with, we'll visit with Trey Wallace at some point over the weekend. We'll have Jake from the Ole Miss Spirit, who joined us a little bit earlier. We'll have Zach Berry of the Ole Miss Spirit, who joined us a little bit earlier. We're working with Ole Miss Athletic Media Relations, Ben, with trying to get some players on the show. So we'll be continuing to kind of do that, working with the SEC about getting some of these analysts on. Yes, I'm efforted Chase Daniel along with Roman Harper to join us. We'll see if we can get him on, Chris Doring, Peter Burns. So we'll just do our best. And, Ben, we will stay in touch with you and everybody about how we're going to do things, and excited about bringing you wall-to-wall coverage here on the Talk of Champions.
Yeah, on Wednesday, Ole Miss Day, we're going to start at 1. We know that. Tomorrow, we'll play it by ear. We didn't know. We thought originally this was going to be 12 or 1 o'clock. It ended up being 4 because after today, we were really hoping for something. We were really hoping for more, and we got what we got, but we made do with what we had. This has been Talk of Champions. This QR code right beside my head is for the Ole Miss Spirit, OleMissSpirit.com, and affiliate on 3. Sign up today as a new member for $1. Y'all have been great, man. Like signing up recently, you've seen a lot of new subscribers engaging on the message boards. That's what we want, and that's what can help us the most. People ask all the time, how can we help y'all? Sign up at the Ole Miss Spirit, OleMissSpirit.com, affiliate on 3. Come hang out. And yes, friends, Nate Goforth, Dakota, all you guys in the College Football 27 OM Spirit Dynasty League that I'm joining, I will be signing up. It's just painful to $11. The mortgage just came out, and now I got to pay $11 when I got 30 going to Disney Plus. Dad problems. Father of 2. Big Cat had it right. Father of 2, 40. You just got to give me a second, but I'll be there. We're going to make it happen. And if any of you want to join us, all you got to do is come to the Ole Miss Spirit first, OMSpirit.com, and affiliate on 3. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow, Brad. Until then, I'll see you soon.
Look forward to it. Once again, special thank you to the College Corner store located there in Oxford, right past the Chick-fil-A on the left. And speaking of, I want to say a special thank you to the Chick-fil-A as well for being a sponsor here. All of our coverage of Tampa is coming from College Corner store, Chick-fil-A, and our friends at Built Different Fitness. We're going to have more from them as well, but those are the 3 sponsors. Along with Hill Counseling, we've added a 4th sponsor that's brought to you, bring you all of our coverage that we'll bring to you from Tampa.
Man, it's time, I think, for us to get in there. It's time, Brad. It's time.
By the way, the new Rocky is coming out. But it's not a new Rocky. It is a movie about Sylvester Stallone.
No, it's the movie about Rocky being made into a movie. It's about the movie Rocky being made into a movie.
Yes, which I'm very excited about because I'm a huge Rocky guy.
I really need Spider-Man to be good. Otherwise, I think I've lost. Well, I need the Odyssey to be what I want it to be when I go see it in IMAX, and we can only see it in the Paradiso anywhere near us. So, hey, maybe if any of y'all want to meet up to go to the Paradiso, holler at me at Spirit Ben here at the Ole Miss Spirit. Join the Ole Miss Spirit Dynasty League. Sign up at the Ole Miss Spirit. Leave us a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple, whatever. But most of all, just thanks for being y'all, and we'll see you soon. Bye, Brad.